Hello and good evening to all you good eggs out there. It is Alex McCarthy's Wrestling Daily right here, and I'd usually say on Wrestle2, and I will say it only once more because we are on Wrestle2 today, but we're also on our new home of Wrestling Daily, so make sure you make your way over to that YouTube channel. You make your way, you subscribe, you do all of those good things, and you be a good egg because you are exactly that. The good eggs of the Wrestling Daily community. So welcome to Friday Night Insight. I had SP3 on Wednesday. I had Steph yesterday with her hot takes. And Louis Dangoor is back. And he's found another hat to hide his lockdown hair. Is it the same hat? Is it your only hat?
Yeah, because I've never been a hat wearer. Never. I don't think it's until all right, okay. Wrestling Daily exclusive here. I mean, it's bad. It's pretty bad.
I kind of like it. It's kind of shaggy.
I've tried. I was speaking to my mum today, and she goes, "What's the first thing you're going to do when lockdown ends?" Expecting me to be like, see friends. I was like, booking a haircut. All right, first thing I'm going to do is book a haircut. But no, other than my hair, I've had a fantastic week. Liverpool remembered how to win yesterday. We scored 3. The Wrestling Daily stuff has been fantastic. You guys have gone all over to the new channel, which we've massively appreciated. Your support has been incredible. I think better than we were all expecting, which is awesome. And if you go to find us on Wrestle2 on Monday for the special show, we will not be there. So make sure you are all subscribed to the Wrestling Daily channel. While you're there, turn on notifications to make sure you never miss an upload. We will be live on Monday at 9:30, the special start time, because Alex has got his TalkSport show, 7 till 9, covering the Royal Rumble. So hopefully we'll always be in a good mood for that show. But yeah, very much looking forward to covering the Royal Rumble this weekend. I tweeted this today. The Royal Rumble, like the state of WWE's product can be awful, can be great, whatever. But I will never not be excited for a Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
It's the best. It is the best.
It's the best pay-per-view of the year, hands down.
Best pay-per-view of the year, the best match type in WWE history. I mean, I like
wrestling history. It's the best pay-per-view. It's the most, like, the pay-per-view. I mean, listen, all of AW's pay-per-views are fantastic in terms of the matches on the show, but I will never, that day before, I will never be more excited for a pay-per-view than I am for the Royal Rumble.
It's just like, it could be, I think it's also because of like who goes to WrestleMania and main events, like who's going to win. It's not only just like the Rumble match itself has cool moments, but I think it's just everything that comes with the Royal Rumble. It's like the kickoff of the year. It's awesome. It is awesome.
It feels like when you start writing your Christmas list and it starts finally, or maybe no, when you first put your Christmas tree up and you're like, all right, we're getting close to Christmas time now.
I only took my Christmas tree down 2 days ago. There's a fact for you.
We never had one. Never had a Christmas tree in the house. I'm Jewish. So.
I mean, I was about to say less surprising, but for me. I love the Rumble. The only thing I was differing on there is I do love the TLC concept. Like when that first came around, that was literally amazing. But yeah, I think the Rumble.
Now they do it every year. It's lost it. Listen, I know they do the Royal Rumble every year, but there's a reason for it. You're like, all right, it's the Rumble. You're not artificially putting in feuds.
Yeah, I do get really excited about Money in the Bank as well. It's just the last couple.
It's a similar thing because it's that future aspect where you are booking to the future, and it not only gives you an insight of what the next month's going to be, but what the next 4 months. It's the same with Money in the Bank because you've got realistically, and I know less so, but in years previous, you can bank on the fact, all right, that person is going to be in the main event picture moving forward. Although now. Otis
Otis
next year.
Yeah. the comeback of all comebacks. Guys, as Louis said, yes indeed, this is our last show on Wrestle2 before we make the full-blown move. So as of Monday, we'll be here every weekday next week. I'm a busy boy on Monday, so you can catch me on TalkSport 7 till 9. And then, of course, I'll be here live at 9:30, living colour, not just my voice. So you can do that from next week. We're on Wrestling Daily. Make sure you come over and support that because that's where we're going to be moving forward. All Wrestling Daily content on our own channel, in our own house. Damn it. Also, while I'm here, while we're talking shop, get your Ultra Chats in. It's the last show before the Rumble. I want to know those hot takes. I want to know who you want us to discuss and what you want to talk about. Who's going to win? Who's going to be surprise entrances? I want to know from you guys. So you see the message at the bottom. Don't make me say it again, but I will. Send in your messages and questions at WrestleTalk.com/Wrestle2. It's the last time we're going to have that link as well. So please do make sure you get your Ultra Chats in. I would love to talk the Rumble with all my good eggs. But as you know, when Louis is on the show, we get into some news. So before we do some Rumble predictions to close out, before we do a little Q&A to finish off proceedings, we are going to get into some news. And the first bit of news I want you to elaborate on, Louis, is the futures. The Rumble participation. What are Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey doing or not doing, Louis?
So I think anyone with a semblance of realism knew that Becky Lynch was not going to be at the Rumble. You just have to look at like dates and just how she gave birth like 6 weeks ago. Leave the poor woman alone.
I think it was the 8th of December, so not that long.
Nearly 2 months.
Yeah,
but not even 2 months. Come on, guys, especially with the world we're living in now. You got to be safe. Like, I mean, Seth hasn't even returned. So Becky isn't going to be there. So Dave Meltzer reporting on Wrestling Observer Radio. The Becky Lynch is not going to be at the Royal Rumble, which I think everyone expected, but, wrestling fans, we get a bit carried away. And another name was Ronda Rousey. She is someone that people have been throwing out there for the last couple of weeks. I believe it's widely known that her contract is up at WrestleMania this year. Dave Meltzer reported that as well in this issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So people thought, all right, she'll come back at the Rumble, have a final run till Mania and head off. While the second part of that might still happen, she reportedly is also not scheduled for the Royal Rumble. So Ronda Rousey, if you're going into tomorrow's or Sunday's Royal Rumble hoping for a Ronda Rousey return, you're not going to get it, unfortunately. Or Dave Meltzer is reporting.
Hang on now. We haven't got the BS on it out yet, Louis.
Of course.
Don't jump the gun.
Dave Meltzer is reporting it's not going to happen. And I think this speculation started, and I even considered it for a moment, when WWE announced that on WWE Backstage this Saturday, they're going to be announcing number 1 and 2 for the Women's Rumble and number 30 for the Men's. So, all right, logic dictates that potentially means number 30 is going to be pretty big for the women. I think it also, as far as I'm concerned, kind of gives away that the women are going to main event. They might not. I'm not reporting it is, but sort of putting 2 and 2 together, I think the women will probably main event if they're not giving away who the number 30 is going to be. Potentially, I guess, not spoiling, but leading to speculation that Rousey could have been number 30, but Meltzer is reporting that she is not scheduled for the show in any capacity, whether it be the Royal Rumble or sort of coming out of the end like she did at WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble in 2018. She will not be on the show at all.
2 things. Number 1, I don't even know that Becky shouldn't even be a thing. Like,
but hang on. Vince has called her. Vince has not a report again. Just going off what I think, there is not a chance that Vince McMahon hasn't called Becky Lynch to speak about WrestleMania plans. No way.
Yeah,
no way he hasn't.
Well, I don't know if it's no way. Like, sure, I reckon that's a call you make, but also at the same time, I don't. There's no way she was like anyone, like we said, with a brain. There's no way that, not even 2 months removed from a baby, she comes back and gets it. Like, if she does, like, if somehow I'm stunned and wrong, then I'll hold my hands up and say, well, okay, I'm an idiot. But I don't think I will be. It just doesn't make sense. And I never thought it was really a thing until I read these past couple of days. People were like, oh, maybe Becky. And I'm like, I get it. It's wishful thinking on some people's part. Sure, we all miss Becky. Of course we do. But come on, bit of realism. As far as Rousey goes, I understand this more, right? Because we've all seen that she's been working out in the ring, obviously staying sharp for a reason. Also, you say Meltzer's reported her contract's up. We all knew she signed a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
When she started at 34. So of course,
I think a certain someone wasn't of that belief. A certain journalist.
I know who you're talking about. Somebody sent me. I'm just going to say his name. Somebody sent me something about Colahue the other day, and they typed in his name, and I might be wrong, but I think he's gone off Twitter.
He was. I checked his Twitter like 3 days ago. He's still on Twitter.
Oh, he's still there, is it? Okay. Oh, well, I'm blocked, and he's not. I certainly don't have burners checking for Tom Colahue, so I wouldn't know.
But hang on, you mean it's not known that you ask me daily to check his Twitter?
What's going on, Louis? Yeah, you're the only guy for some reason he doesn't hate. But there you go. Anyway, back to Ronda. I can totally understand why people think she might be coming back, and I, although have no inside knowledge of this, I fancied it to happen. If it happened, I could have perfectly believed it. If Meltzer's saying it's not going to happen, okay. But
I mean, actually, on that note, Michael Jensen has brought this up. Meltzer said that Edge wasn't coming back last year. So, listen, I know Meltzer's obviously a very well-respected journalist, but PW Insider's Mike Johnson was all over this last year. He was saying from about September that Edge is coming back. Edge is coming back. Edge is coming back. And everyone said no. I mean, everyone that denied it said no. Like you didn't report on anything. I wasn't reporting at the time, but no one else corroborated his report, and he was laughing.
God no. I would never stick my neck out on that one. All I said on that was I remember around December going, there are a lot of things that are adding up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't believe it because it was like that neck thing. I just thought, But then
it was the Spear at SummerSlam. You're like,
The Spear at SummerSlam was 1. 2, he got in amazing shape. Like on his Instagram, for like no reason, he was in amazing shape. And it was like, that's a bit curious. 3, he signed a new WWE deal, which was pretty public, although they were trying to say it was a Legends deal. Now we know better. So when you start connecting the dots, and on top of Mike Johnson, I was a bit like, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah. But still, at the same time, it was like, hang on, I'm sure I listened to pretty much every Edge and Christian podcast, and he must have said 100 times, if I took another bump, I'll be paralyzed. So there you go. What do we know? Anyway, if that's what Meltzer's saying. I'm inclined to give him green, I guess. I mean, Becky definitely. Look, I'm going to do 2 separate ones. Becky, you've got green, Dave. Ronda, I'm still going to reserve the right of a yellow because I'm not sure it says final as he says.
This comment from Elizabeth Stallion made me laugh. Imagine Vince called Becky and offered her numbers 29 and 30.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past him.
On that note, though, I know we're speaking about Becky. If Seth comes back, I wouldn't be surprised at the Rumble. That's not a report or anything, more just guesswork for me. I know WWE on Fox sort of jumped the gun and said that he was supposed to return earlier in January, announced it for SmackDown, but WWE never did. So if they are sort of delaying it, they've had Edge announce it. I wouldn't be surprised if Seth Rollins comes back in the Rumble.
I was going to interject on you when you were saying earlier, I held my tongue, but I was going to say the same thing. I think, in fact, I wrote that in a TalkSport thing today. I did like an article running down possibilities for the Rumble. You know, guys like Samoa Joe, Wade Barrett, they're like outside bets. You've got Sonya Deville, who might kind of politic her way into the match. But the man we all expect and makes sense to come back is Seth Rollins. I haven't spoken to him. I'm just, again, making crunching the numbers, and it all makes sense. So I think exactly. I would definitely expect to see Seth Rollins return at the Rumble. Moving along in news, now we're talking about returns here as well. The first bit of news, which I will touch on, is Bobby Lashley talking about Brock Lesnar match never coming to fruition. Now, do you know what bothers me a little bit about this? I don't want to say statement, but he was on Busted Open. And he said, when Bully Ray asked him, I like the Brock matchup. I've heard it's not happening several times. Who keeps shooting him down? Do you know what I mean?
We know. I mean, we know who.
Well, Brock. I don't know why. Whatever the case is, maybe he's not coming back. Maybe he has other focuses in the company. I don't know. But I do like the matchup. He goes on to praise Braun Strowman, says he wants to work with him again. And he thought that they worked well together. Several times people have personally said to him, it's not like I've said this so many times. Like it doesn't even have to be a Mania, a SummerSlam, a Rumble, or whatever. But for one of Brock's dates a year, it is a no-brainer to have Bobby Lashley and Lesnar, 2 of the most genetic freaks of the last millennium colliding. Both have got impressive MMA records. You know, Lashley's 5-0 in Bellator, by the way, 15-2 overall. That's no small thing. Like, I know you're all going, well, okay, Brock was the UFC champion. Whoa, Lashley has an impressive career. 43, 44 years old. Like, just do it. Like, what? It would be interesting, man, with the MMA backgrounds, and you know, they could have a real hoss fight. But yeah, anyway,
I mean, especially now because they are booking Lashley really well, like really well.
You would think it lends itself to it now, but you know, it might actually be the case that Lashley is fed to Riddle. We don't actually know. It could be the launch pad for him.
Yeah,
and they do have the MMA thing as well, but. Lashley and Lesnar, heavyweights, they're both like absolutely jacked beyond belief. The reason I bring up this line is because, Louis, this leads us into a Brock Lesnar contract update.
Yeah, so another name that has been speculated for the Royal Rumble is Brock Lesnar. I know WrestleVotes reported a couple of months ago that the plan for, or tentative plan for WrestleMania was Brock Lesnar, Keith Lee, and Drew McIntyre in a WWE title match. So leading speculation that Brock will be coming around now or then. As we know with WWE, things are probably still changing for SmackDown tonight. So saying that something from November is going to be the plan for WrestleMania probably changed 7 times between now and then. But with regards to Brock Lesnar, Dave Meltzer is again reporting Wrestling Observer Radio that Brock has not re-signed with WWE as of yet. His contract expired in April, and I think this was the first time that it sort of got widely reported that Brock's contract had expired. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, Brock's going to go to AEW." This happens all the time. Brock's contract always expires. Vince always offers him another deal when he's ready to return, and Brock wants to return, and he always comes. Just interesting here that with 4 months to WrestleMania, or 3 months, 3-ish months, Brock Lesnar has not re-signed with WWE, so is likely not returning at the Royal Rumble. Though Meltzer doesn't say anything about the Rumble here, just that Brock is not under contract with WWE as of right now.
I mean, that's the interesting thing in all of that. And you've said it happens all the time. I mean, it does, but obviously not usually this amount of time between contracts. And the pandemic is obviously primarily responsible for that. I know Brock's been in Canada. That's where he lives. Spoiler. If, you know, exactly. He wants to stay there during the pandemic, basically. And there's no value in WWE as well, having him perform in front of nobody. But with 25,000 people at WrestleMania, you think, maybe there could be a reason that WWE want to wheel him out, and you can obviously use the Rumble as a vehicle for that. I wouldn't be surprised. This is just like the fan in me. If like Money in the Bank style, Brock Lesnar won the Rumble, but at the same time, I wouldn't put money on it at all. So I think because of the pandemic, Brock Lesnar, all of your educated guesses are kind of by the wayside, because he will just come back when things settle down, when the money's right. There you go. And I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong, though. I'd love to see Brock back. This leads me in nicely as well into another bit of news. Now, we're talking about stuff that's going on for WrestleMania. Louis just correctly said about how WrestleVote said something in November. And how much stock can you put in that now? Same thing goes for, we all thought the plan. In fact, I was even told at one point the plan was Goldberg and Reigns.
So was I.
Doesn't look like it's going to be that now. It still could be. Still could be. They could find a way there. But it doesn't look like that's what they're going to do. In fact, Cena and Goldberg is getting a lot of traction from what I see, which actually I'm quite interested in. But what does that leave us then with Roman Reigns, Lou?
So Dave Meltzer is reporting wrestling.
Jesus, Dave's been busy, isn't he?
We've always said Friday. I don't know if we said this last week, but Steph and I were going to rename the Friday show Wrestling Observer Newsletter Recap, because when the Wrestling Observer Newsletter comes out, it's just all stories from there. It's all that dominates news. But okay, so this is shocking to me. But Meltzer is reporting that only Roman Reigns' match has been decided and finalized for WrestleMania. So only Roman's match.
Well, I'd say Kofi and Ali is pretty solid, but okay.
Oh, I don't think it's happening at WrestleMania.
I do.
I think it's happening way before. You telling me that doesn't scream Fastlane?
No, I think that happens at WrestleMania. Look, over 2 nights, there's definitely room for a Kofi and Ali.
The tuna, it will be like it'll be like an Elias King Corbin thing, just with a bit more intrigue in it. It'll be like one of those sort of middle to
basically. But I reckon it is. But anyway,
the tuna thing I didn't consider. Yeah, we digress. Meltzer specifically said that Reigns' current opponent is not known, but likely to be Daniel Bryan. But it is definitely not Shinsuke Nakamura. Which is interesting because a lot of people speculated that it was going to be Shinsuke after the gauntlet with Adam Pearce, where sort of, if you look at that in isolation without the reports that have all come out, it looks like they were preparing Shinsuke for that Mania match, similar to what they did with Kofi a couple of years ago, where Kofi came close in the gauntlet and was kind of cheated out of it, and they were kind of giving Kofi the uphill battles. It looks like that's what they're doing with Shinsuke. They've turned him babyface. They've given him his music back, which the fact there's no fans to chant is a robbery, and it is the shows are on here far too late for me to be singing that in my room. But so likely Daniel Bryan, I think everyone said that, but it does open a wider issue where, so if this is the only match, and I know you've said the Ali match, I think which is probably likely. How can WWE have one match scheduled when there are two Rumble matches? One of which has both of which have massive implications for WrestleMania. So surely that's got to be decided already, which makes me think this report is inaccurate because there is no way WWE doesn't know who's winning the Women's Royal Rumble match yet. There is no way. The rehearsals are tomorrow.
I was just about to say they're doing rehearsals tomorrow. So
there is no way they don't know, which means that more than one match is decided. Maybe they're umming and ahhing over who the sort of title holder will be going into that match, which fair enough, perhaps. But I doubt this report because you wouldn't book a challenger without knowing who the champion's going to be, if that makes any sense.
First of all, I'm down for Bryan and Reigns, and I know that Bryan will put over Reigns probably and all of that good stuff. Is Bryan going to win the Rumble to get his shot at Reigns? Potentially. I don't feel like he's coming in particularly red hot, but maybe Bryan doesn't need to. So what SmackDown have done masterfully well in the past few weeks, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, Cesaro's being treated well. Mm-hmm. Nakamura's being treated well. Like, there's a plethora of people. I'm like, wow, they actually have a chance. That could happen. And I look at them only having one match set for WrestleMania over 2 nights. I really find it hard to believe. I was told when I know Charlotte tried to kayfabe me in a public interview the other day, but we were told that she had her Mania plans locked in before she came back. She knows who she's heading towards. There's also what Sasha's doing with the belt. I don't know if the winner of the Women's Rumble is going to face her, but it'll be Bayley or the winner of the Rumble facing Sasha, basically. That's all I can think of.
I hope it's Bayley. So I've said this. I hope they announce on SmackDown, on WWE Backstage. It's Bayley and Belair are number one.
Yeah, should be.
And they go the whole way. And it is literally those two as the final two as well. Really put them over as Iron Women and just have those two go the whole way. Listen, I'd hate this finish, but I want a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
I'll take it.
That's what I want. I want a triple threat match between those two. I think it'd be awesome. You delay that Belair sort of bank singles match, which I think is money. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like with one week, like I know WWE, they don't even know what they're doing on Raw next week. But this is a big show. You can't redo the Royal Rumble, and there is no way they don't have even a very, very penciled in plan for what the women's match is going to be. I think they've got something more concrete. And if it's those two matches that they know, fair enough. I could easily buy that report. But saying that they only know one, I do struggle to believe.
Yeah, and this is WWE we're talking about, who changed things on a dime. But I refuse to believe they don't have like a working framework at the very least. And it'll all become more clear after Sunday, I'm sure of it. But you have to imagine WWE already have that formalized in their minds. Let's go to the Ultra Chats before the Ultra Chats. I do want to talk about the signings WWE made today that were announced for NXT UK. Excitingly, Bailey Matthews, which is William Regal's son. I don't know if anyone was aware of this, but his son has signed for NXT UK. He was training as a young lion in New Japan, which is like basically a rite of passage where you're in the dojo and, you just all these traditions to uphold, and you've got to clean stuff and make people's meals and train. Like, it's very old school traditional stuff. But he did that for a year, I think. He had a match or two in Dark on Progress and places like Rev Pro. Very, he's young. Regal's got 3 sons, by the way, for anyone who's wondering. I think this is his middle son, I think. Anyway, he's signed for NXT UK. We all know Miko Satomura has obviously joined the ranks.
Is she Italian?
I didn't mean to roll the R as much. Satomura? I don't know. Anyway, she has joined the ranks as well, which is very exciting. Her and Kaylee Ray, that is a banner match for NXT UK to have up their sleeve. It really is. Miko Satomura.
I'm just gutted that the travel ban's a thing, because Miko in the Rumble
would be great. And Sasha's talked about how much she wants her. So there you have it. Tony Gill is another signee, originally from Britain, went to Australia, back in Britain now. And Metahan Kokabasoglu. I've butchered that name, but he's from Turkey, basically. And you'd know him as Lucky Kid from XWX or WXW. I can't remember how even you say it. Yeah. So he was obviously over there. And so a lot of people were excited to see him translate. I don't think the Lucky Kid gimmick is coming with him, unfortunately. But anyway, that's 4 very exciting. NXT UK, the past 6 months, I don't think anyone can complain with their recruitment. They are, they have tried to replenish their stock. And from what I can see, they've done it extremely well.
Yeah, Shah Samuels, Rampage Brown, a lot of debuts recently. I've actually got WWE's press release, or not the press release, we announced on their website. So this is the description they gave for Bailey Matthews. Blackpool, I liked it. Ready to roar onto the scene and represent his hometown of Blackpool, England, Bailey Matthews is set to bring a unique style to NXT UK, inspired by the likes of Johnny Saint, Billy Robinson, and NXT General Manager William Regal.
Don't even acknowledge that it's his dad.
You know what? It's the fact they acknowledged William Regal in his little excerpt, and the way they described William Regal is not his father; it's NXT General Manager.
You know what it is? It's going to be another.
What are you doing?
It's going to be Jerry the King Lawler, Brian Christopher thing all over again.
But I don't get it. I don't get it. Why not just say William Regal's his dad? Listen, I don't know. They might play it on TV. They might not. But the fact they've not mentioned it on here makes me think, what the hell are you doing? Just mention William Regal's his dad. It'd probably get a lot more buzz. If you took, William Regal's son is on here, you probably get a lot more buzz. People go, oh, damn, William Regal's son online. But you wouldn't know that if you're not in the know. And on the note of Lucky Kid, I actually heard September, October time that Lucky Kid, the WWE were interested in Lucky Kid and had been for years. He's a great get. I know he had a sort of a bad name to use now, but he had a great match with David Starr, WrestleMania weekend, WrestleMania 35 over that weekend in WXW. It was a fantastic match. He was the shining light, of course. He's great. I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about Tony Gill. I haven't seen him work before. But if he's anything like the other names on the list, great. And Miko Satomura is, I could easily say, if you put her on the main roster, she would be up there with the best workers on the main roster, easily. She is a legend, a veteran, and not only the impact she'll have on TV, but the impact that she will have. So Tokyo Sports has reported, and I think WWE's confirmed this as well. She's a player/coach, so we'll be helping with those younger talents at the PC, which is invaluable because
we knew that. We knew that months ago, though, didn't we? The whole Miko thing we knew months ago. Obviously, I heard, what was it, a day or two ago? Someone had told me that she was going to debut. But you know me, I don't like to full on spoil these things.
And that isn't only a Twitter gimmick, because I messaged Alex yesterday. He tweeted it. He was like, "Someone's debuting." I was like, "Tell me who." I was like, Alex, come on.
Listen, if
anything,
I'd get punished if that news slipped out. But once I saw the Tokyo report, I was like, oh, all right then. But obviously, Miko, legendary status. I think just her name around the world is enough. It's an attraction in itself. Yeah. So, I think it was months ago we heard that news about her coming in, because Rampage Brown is the same. Don't know if anyone knows that. He's also coaching, and he is coaching and wrestling at the PC. So yeah, there you have it. Interesting stuff for NXT UK.
Before we head into the Ultra Chats, I do want to pull up this comment from our good friend Adam Pearson. Are Lucky Kid and Lucky Cannon related? Listen, you didn't hear it from me, but I think so. It's not a report, but it is a report. They are related.
It's not a report, but we're sticking our necks out. Stick that there. So let's go to the Ultra Chats. Mike Jensen. Hey, Mike. Have a good Friday, my friend. Hope you gents are well. Can't wait for Sunday. What do you think the Kofi spot will be this year? Do you think Ali has the nimbleness and agility to do it to further the story of taking his place? Do I think Ali has the nimbleness? Yeah, just a bit. Have you watched him? He's one of the most agile blokes you could ever imagine. Yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't actually thought about that. Obviously, I know that Ali is having Kofi's spot, which I do think is a magnificent bit of storytelling. It would be awesome, though, if that is what he did, like the Kofi spot, just to rub insult into injury. I think that's a great point to bring up.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. My mind automatically went to John Morrison because before it was Kofi's spot, it was John Morrison's spot. And last year he didn't get that because it was his first Rumble back, and he was that Brock Lesnar bit where he didn't really get to do any of his John Morrison stuff. He was sort of part of a bigger story. So, but Ali doing it does make sense. But it is kind of a babyface thing to do, and I don't know whether you want him doing that. Maybe they can heal it in a way with Retribution. But I think that could be a great way for Ali to sort of continue the Kofi story, which I'm actually I'm enjoying. Like when he released that promo onto Twitter a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is an example of something that WWE should make into a storyline that's on social media that they won't. And they did, and I was very, very happy with that. And I think continuing that with an Ali sort of Kofi-esque spot in the Rumble is definitely a great way to do it. So yeah, great shout there.
I think I think you definitely could do it as a heel. Like if you're all smug and arrogant about it after, and he rubs Kofi's face in it, I definitely could see that. I just see a comment here, by the way. When is Simone Johnson debuting? A while yet, I think, Mandy. She only been training, I think, properly full time for about a year. So obviously that's the Rock's daughter. For those unaware, I wouldn't anticipate a debut imminently. She might be really good though, and. I don't know. I'd say watch out over the next 12 months for her development, but I don't think it's imminent.
I don't want to. Has she had surgery recently?
She was injured.
I think she had knee surgery relatively recently.
Yeah, I want to say it was like the tail end of the summer she got hurt.
Yeah,
I think. So yeah, again, she only. Like the announcement of her joining was only last year. And I know she was training a little bit before that here and there. But she's not like, it's not like she's come from the independents and then they've picked her up. Like she is fresh. So a bit of work to do, I think. So
she had her third surgery on the same knee in September. So
Tegan-esque.
Not great news, obviously. But I mean, it's kind of she will always have that, I guess, be able to debut and be like, I'm the Rock's daughter, and there'll be eyes on her. You'll have mainstream sites picking out. I don't know whether ESPN or sites like that will have ever picked up an NXT debut before, especially from a developmental talent. But you can bet your ass that they will for Simone Johnson. So yeah, kind of when she's healthy and when she's ready, I reckon she will debut.
I'm a fan, even if she's the shit. I'm a fan. Fact. Just by virtue of genetics, I'm a fan.
Listen, you've done well, but did you have to swear?
I can do what I want. It's my show. Unless Jenna has
to
go, mate.
Do you want us to get monetized? Do you want us to get monetized?
Listen, Adam Blompier swears willy-nilly. I won't have it.
But he's Adam Blompier. He can get away with it.
Nah, not having it. Bo Hill is in the building. Hey, guys. I know I'm being pedantic. I mean, this is a great start. But I hate saying that the Royal Rumble winner outlasted 29 other people. That is true for his entrant is number 1 or 2. That's it. If you win from the 27th spot, for example, it isn't like you were there with the other 29. I get it that the semantics of what you're saying and outlasting, but in essence, out of 29 other people, you were the winner.
Yeah. They won it out of 29 people. Out of 29 people, they were the last man or woman standing. So listen, Bo Hill, I think, listen, love your ultra chats, even if it is just for Alex shouting Bo Hill, which I did very much miss when he was away. I was actually going to ask you to send a video of you saying Bo Hill, and every time we sent in an ultra chat when you weren't here, I was going to play it. But
would have been
a
great message tone for the lad. It would be get on your phone.
No, I do think that you're being slightly pedantic there. It's good branding, it's good marketing, it's what they like to do to big it up. Which, of all the things WWE bigs up that might be slightly stretching the truth, this I don't think is one to take issue with. Pick your battles, Bo Hill. Pick your battles.
Yeah, take a look at some of the attendances, my friend. That'll really get you going. Ronald Fisher says McIntyre and Jinder Mahal as a filler program on the road to WrestleMania. Listen,
Can I take this one? Because actually, this was the plan for the summer, and I reported this. I reported this before Meltzer did. Just don't tell Dave that because I don't think he knows. But yeah, I reported over the summer that this was a plan. It wasn't going to be a big SummerSlam plan or a big pay-per-view plan, but it was a filler feud that would have likely been over Raw and maybe a B pay-per-view, which would have been great to see. But obviously, Mahal got injured, had a real tough go of it. But yeah, I think as a filler feud for WrestleMania, especially if he goes on to face Sheamus or Keith Lee, who that sort of friendship element of the storyline has been built in. You could weave Mahal into that. He obviously returned, for those that don't know, at the Superstar Spectacle, the big India show that was tagged last week and was put on this week, broadcast this week. So he's fit and ready to go. So yeah, I'd be more than up for seeing a return at the Rumble and a bit of a filler feud with Drew McIntyre. I think that'd be great. I like how all of Drew's stories have had a bit of meaning and a bit of sort of like, there's a reason for them. And I like that could work with Mahal as well. It was like Ziggler. If you told me beforehand, Ziggler McIntyre, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But the story was great and the match was great. And I think we could see a similar thing here with Mahal and McIntyre.
The thing with Drew, and obviously having spoken to him about it, he is so kind of passionate about making a story out of his matches. And I said this, 2020, Drew McIntyre did not miss on pay-per-view. He had a great year as champion on pay-per-view. I will say that until the cows come home from wherever they've been. And listen, he is someone who, when Bobby Lashley was not interesting until he got into that feud and he had MVP with him and they went after Drew McIntyre. Dolph Ziggler in a world title feud against anyone else would have been a turnoff, I think, but they made it work because of the story. Drew is very, very good at making his title defenses and his feuds have story. We're seeing it unfold now with Sheamus. He obviously brought Heath back as part of the Dolph angle. We all know as well that Drew wanted that feud with Jinder Mahal. So it's a shame he didn't get to play out that way. It would have been great for Jinder. And it sucks, man, because he was just coming off a very bad injury, gets another bad one straight away. Delighted to see that he's back now, though. So hopefully down the road that will happen. I don't know if there's time. Potentially. It depends what the direction is with Drew, but I reckon at some point this year, for sure, if Drew's champion, make it happen.
I mean, if Drew retains at Mania, which I don't think he will do, purely because I think Roman's retaining and you do want one championship to change hands, like one big one. And I don't see Roman losing. When Drew, like I could see it as a first feud after Mania if Drew did retain. But remember when he returned, they were really playing it up like, oh, Jinder Mahal's a former WWE champion. They don't do that for like Kofi Kingston, for example. So, but they were clearly building him up for some stuff. And yeah, it sucks for him more than anything. He just came back and then had to step out again. So yeah, hoping for his sake that he earns it. Because listen, I know we all think. You guys think that Liam Mysterio will ever be a wrestler? Yeah, probably. Probably. But yeah, it sucks for him. But no, I hope he's back and healthy and can be inserted into that picture because he does deserve it.
David Rowe, Rohe. I'm assuming it's Rowe. Hey guys, love from AZ in the US, Arizona. I'm going to say Arizona. My idea is if Bliss wins the men's rumble. Wow. Okay. The idea would be that the Fiend possessed Bliss to enter the men's. Not the best idea, but a way to explain it.
No.
I mean, I love that. You've sent us super chat in and you've told us where you live and I feel like I'm getting to know you here, David Rowe, but I don't like that idea. Where do you go from there?
So I had an idea, which I think was even worse. So what they're going to do, because obviously there's no fans there, they're going to do the Rumble. Number 15-ish, Orton comes out, cleans house. Number 16 is Bray Wyatt. Then we see a Firefly Funhouse match in the middle of the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And then it comes back, number 17. Like, they've eliminated himself. Number 17 is someone else. Probably Titus to have a bit of continuity when he was a bit confused after the first Firefly Funhouse match, and he comes out as number 17. Yeah. That was an awful idea, and I can appreciate that. But I think Bliss winning the men's Rumble is worse. No, I know. Luke did say, but I think he said it ironically, as in that's what they'll do, but it's bad. I don't think they'll do that personally. But it would be different. I'll give them that. It would be different.
I do think the Fiend will make a return at the Rumble. I don't know. It could play out in any way. I dare speculate the various crazy ways that could happen. But I don't think one of those ways is Alexa Bliss winning the men's Rumble. I like your imagination. Let's just maybe channel it. Mayor of Painesville, Dan. Hey, Alex and Louis. I hope you're having a great time. So what is your opinion, insight on Metahan, formerly known as Lucky Kid, signing with NXT UK? Obviously a massive loss for WXW, but his heel character is so great. More eyes deserve to see it. Full transparency, I've only seen 2 Lucky Kid matches. Like, I'm not well... Listen, I'm your mainstream guy. I'm not the... although I have seen, obviously... Progress and Rev Pro and stuff like that, but I mean, I haven't seen that much WXW as I'd like. But from all I know of him, man, he's got great charisma, great presence, and I think NXT UK at the top of the card, which is presumably where he's going to kind of slot in. He's got a history of Dragunov and people and Volta and people like that. I could see it working, and I think they need people up there now because we've kind of done the merry-go-round of Joe Kofi and people like that. I know we've got Shaw now and Rampage Brown But I actually think Lucky Kid, whatever he's going to be called, will slot in very nicely in that scene. And obviously we've got Ben Carter as well. Jordan Devlin's there with the Cruiserweight title. All of a sudden, the top of that card has opened up where a few months ago, I was like, God, Dragunov didn't beat War. Like, who else is there? There really wasn't that many options. All of a sudden, the stock has been replenished. And I think he's going to fit in great. I think he's going to be a big player.
Yeah, we've actually got another Ultra Chat from Dan here who are resident WXW fanatic, who actually provides a bit of context on Lucky Kid. So should we read that out? Just kind of give us a little bit of maybe for you and I.
You're already there. You're already there, man. Read it.
So Dan said this. Looks like there is some room for some Metahan input. The Lucky Kid gimmick was retired by himself. It was not clicking anymore, and he is not a kid anymore, is he? Also, he never was a single heel character, and so WXW gave him that. Works wonders. They put the WXW Shotgun title, their mid-card title, on him and gave him 2 henchmen, calling the group EZEL, Easel, born in Berlin and teaming with his brother Tarkan Aslanav. That's what I'm
Aslam? Okay.
Aslam. He has grown so much. Former 16-karat gold winner. 2. He will amaze you guys. I mean, listen, if he's got a glowing report from Dan, I'm inclined to think he's going to be awful. No, I'm inclined to think he's awful because it's Lucky. It's Dexter Lumis all over again. We can't trust Dan.
Come on.
We can't trust Dan's judgment.
Dexter Lumis, I feel like just because Steph hates Dexter Lumis, everyone's all of a sudden like, yeah, Dexter Lumis is he ain't that bad.
No one hates Dexter. No, I don't hate Dexter Lumis, but I don't love him as much as Dan does.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's a fair thing to say, by comparison to anyone. Yeah.
I don't think I love anyone. I don't even think I love Harvey as much as Dan loves Dexter Lumis. But no, in all seriousness, from what I have seen from Lucky Kid, with progress, with WXW, he's great talent. As you say, charisma, great charisma. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do NXT UK. Like you, I think he'll be inserted right into that top picture, which is where we see him along with Rampage, Volta, Ilya Dragunov, those lights. And yeah, I think we could be seeing some great matches out of him. So looking forward to it.
And NXT UK, for those who, the tag last night was awesome, by the way, for those who haven't seen it, 4-way, pretty deadly, now number 1 contenders to Gallus. But for those who haven't given it a try, NXT UK really is like the home of amazing wrestling. Like, it's Shawn Michaels' baby for a reason. Please give it a go. Honestly, if you haven't, just the shows aren't as like immersive maybe as Dynamite or SmackDown, like storyline wise or anything, but the action is as good as you'll find anywhere. I honestly believe that. So
I think they're just a victim of time, like in terms of how much wrestling there is.
mm-hmm.
I genuinely, I don't know whether I'd have the time in the week to watch. I would have the time in the week.
It's an hour.
It's an hour. You can. I've got a Chrome extension. You can do 1.25 speed, which is a lifesaver. But no, I don't think. Like, I think it's just also coming. Like, I don't know about you, but I watch one show live, fall asleep on a Wednesday, watch the rest in the morning, and then the rest on Thursday night. So I think that's another victim of it. People are on the NXT AW often catch up, so just don't get the chance to watch NXT UK.
Yeah.
As you said, great wrestling. The takeover, the NXT UK takeovers, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
They're among the best shows in the world, no doubt. Kian Cameron says, "Hey guys, serious question: where the hell is Keith Lee? Would you guys like to see him win the Rumble? I'd love to see him versus Drew and Brock, or even Roman Reigns. Yes, of course, I'd love to see Keith Lee get the push and win the Rumble. Like, there's a lot of big time potential in Keith Lee. Every interaction he's had thus far with guys like Brock, Roman, been amazing. So, yeah, more of that for me. Where is he? Don't know. On a week-to-week basis on Raw, anyone can go missing, and we know why. Mia Yim
was on the. They were both not on for 2 weeks.
Right, which leads you to believe, like, there's something going on there. Hopefully, though,
It was during that time of the breakouts.
He was being kind of positioned well with Sheamus and that story, and and he is one of the bookies' favourites still for the Rumble. But I don't have complete faith he's going to win it. But I do hope that there's more. I know Vince was hiring him to begin with, so I just hope we can get back there.
His booking confuses me so much because 1 week you're like they're really into him. They're giving him that big Drew McIntyre match on the big Legends Night episode of Raw. They're booking him in that Sheamus feud, but like before that we hadn't seen him. That was kind of the only thing he did from when he faced Randy Orton. Seems like they're booking. There are glimmers of bits where you can be like they're really into this guy. Then there are other glimmers of stuff where you're like, do they even care? So it is confusing, which I can see why people are like, what the hell's going on with him? But I think the fact they're giving him chances, they are giving him that WWE Championship thing. And I don't think this whole sending him back to the Performance Center is a bad thing at all. Someone compared it to me. I was speaking to a wrestler about it. And they were like, listen, yes, not everyone. Like he basically said everyone should go to training all the time. He was like, the footballers, he was a UK wrestler. He was like, the footballers just, once they sign for a Premier League team, they stop training. They don't stop training. No,
but they don't get told. They don't get taught how to go and trap a ball again, though. Like, it's completely different. You can work on your craft the whole time, but going, you need to sharpen up on your basics is very, very different to just keeping polished and keeping refined.
So I will say this, and I can say this. I was speaking to someone, and they were not surprised that Keith Lee needed to go back to training. A wrestler,
nor was I. Right, I've heard similar things. But you just said it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing if Vince is sending you back there.
I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it can be something like, all right, we like you. We've got some stock in you, but we're going to sort of make you like polish out the kinks. I think it was more of that than you can't wrestle. We need to teach you how to wrestle. I think it was more of like, we like you. There are just a few things that we need to change, like a few areas that we need to work on, which for me was probably Vince thinking you don't work like a big man. Which is why we all like Keith Lee.
Yeah, I never had a problem with Keith Lee, but then again, what do I know compared to Vince and people like that? So I'm assuming they're looking for things that, when I watch him and Dijak in NXT, I'm not going, I'm not getting nitpicky and going, what about this? What about that? So I'm assuming they see things we don't, which is fair, but I still don't think it's a glowing endorsement. Either way, well, whatever. It's hopefully he gets back to the spots that he's been used in recently because he has been up with the card. So Keith Lee definitely has the talent, presence, charisma. I hope he gets back there. Matty says, hey, Alex. Hey, Louis. Hope you've had a good week. How's uni been? Presumably for Louis.
Not for you.
Unless he asked me 10 years ago. No.
15, call it. How's uni been? Not too bad. Not too bad. I haven't actually restarted lectures yet. My lectures restart on Monday, the day after the Rumble, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Convenient.
But it's all right.
He says, I'm really excited for the Rumble. I'd love it to be Bryan and Belair who win. Louis, I asked this yesterday, but what are your top 3 Rumbles? Been a great week of Wrestling Daily this week. Virtual hugs. Oh, Matty, I got you. Bring it in here, brother.
While we are talking about Wrestling Daily this week, thank you everyone for your support. If you are joining since the beginning, because I know we've had about 70, 80 extra people throughout the stream. So we're co-streaming on Wrestling Daily and Wrestle2 for this week. But if you go to Wrestle2 next Monday for the Post Rumble show, we will not be there. We are going to be purely on the Wrestling Daily channel, the brand new channel, the exclusive home for Wrestling Daily. I think Alex has summed this up perfectly with his crappy internet on the AW stream that he went on with Luke and Ollie. We are no longer paying rent at WrestleTalk, at WrestleTalk HQ. We have moved into our new home. It's a big step for us. We are flying the nest. So we'd love you guys. Even if you're watching on the Wrestle2 stream now, just head on over to Wrestling Daily. Go and check that stream out. We massively appreciate the support you've given us over the past few days. And that is going to be our new home and our exclusive home from next week, which means we get to control the content a little bit more, don't we, Al? Because it's our own channel now.
I mean, we do anyway.
We do. But I was trying to make it sound good.
No, I'm with you. Maybe I would say maybe I could even swear more, but then I know Modern Mother Jenna will be on my back. Love you, Jenna. Listen, we've got one more super chat, and then
hang on. I didn't do my favorite Rumbles, to be fair.
Shiza. Yeah, go on, hit me with. I can't remember what I picked, but Steph did yesterday. Go for it.
2020, fantastic. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was booked to perfection. 2018, the story going through it was perfect. The old guard versus the new guard. I loved that spot. I watched it again this week. It was fantastic. And 2001, because just a car crash, fantastic Rumble. You look at the star power in that Rumble, and you're like, damn, the star power that WWE had at the time. Incredible. So those would be my 3 favorites, and I guess I won't have the same favorites as you because you were watching at the time. So watching retrospectively is different, but watching at the time, 2018 and 2020 were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, 2000, the women's in 2018 and 2020. They're the first ones that spring to my mind. I thought the women's one was awesome, where Trish and people like that were coming back. I loved it.
It was really good. It was really good. And then, I mean, if you include Ronda's debut in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was great.
It was. I agree.
As Dan noticed, the German swear word, Scheiße. I tell you what, Dan, I know one bit of German is Ich liebe dich. Don't know if anyone knows what that means. It's nice though. It's a lot nicer than Scheiße. I
was going to say, don't be swearing in German to try and get away with it. YouTube's smarter than us.
Nah, yeah, well, who isn't? Bo Hill is here again with the final Ultra Chat, and he says, how much better would these recent Rumbles be with different commentators, or if they were allowed a little leeway? Much of the magic comes from in the ring, but in 1992, for example, Heenan's commentary added so much to the Flair win. I mean, I've seen people have varying opinions on stuff like this. So, for instance, I've always been a big Mauro Ranallo guy. Since he's gone, I've seen loads of people kind of almost become a trend to be like, oh yeah, didn't enjoy Mauro too much. I like my commentators passionate. I know everyone has different tastes. It's subjective. I still think JR in the Attitude Era is the GOAT, and he was the most passionate guy ever. Austin, the way he'd go off the air and he was hoarse because he was just going crazy. That is my kind of commentator in those moments. Some moments you got to let breathe. Some moments I want the energy and the passion of the commentator to shine through. And that's why a guy like JR, like Mauro, are my kind of guy. So, yes, I agree to your point. Although I do think there's nothing wrong, per se, with the commentators we've got now. For instance, Byron Saxton called Kofi's title win amazingly well. Okay? Even Drew winning last year, when I watched it back, I thought that was called extremely well. So yeah, Lou, any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, the Rumble is so chaotic that when I watch the Rumble, the commentary is probably the last thing I think about. and that is. I mean, like,
I think
it was actually
the closing moment, though. You know
the closing moment, yeah. But I mean, like, I couldn't tell you the closing moment from McIntyre last year because it's just not what I think about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember it being okay, but it's just not what I think about. But in terms of the GOAT commentator, I'm disappointed you didn't say this because it's clearly Brody Lee Jr. Him on commentary this week on Dark had to be. I don't know what was funnier, him or Taz.
Both.
Taz couldn't control himself.
It was awesome.
And like, if people haven't seen it, he's just telling Excalibur to shut up. Preston Vance is in the ring, and he's like, "This is what hell looks like." Like, I mean, it's so good, and Taz is just crying with laughter. It's so funny. So yeah, he'd be my GOAT commentator. I want him calling the Rumble on Sunday. I mean, hang on, we're getting Jerry Lawler right on Sunday.
Yeah, probably. I like it that people know what I said in German. There you go. I said I love you. That's all I know in German, pretty much. So, and Danke. I learned like the tiniest bit because my teenage girlfriend, her father lived out there. The tiniest bit, and I've retained that much. Don't know why that's important. It's not. Anyway, moving on to the last 5-10 minutes here. Thank you for your Ultra Chats, guys, as usual. But now it's the freebie 10 minutes where you can ask us anything. It's a little Q&A. We're doing all this week to celebrate the move to our new home on Wrestling Daily. So if you are in the Wrestling Daily chat, not Wrestle2, you may ask a question, any question, anything you like within reason. To myself and Louis, wrestling, non-wrestling, we don't care. You've got 10 minutes to fire at us, and we will do the best we can to answer. So please make sure that they all come flowing in now, and we will get moving for the rest of this stream. While the questions file in, Louis, give me your winners.
Daniel Bryan and Rhea Ripley. Daniel Bryan and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, you're not going. Yeah, I'm a massive. I think I've made this very clear. I'm a massive proponent of Charlotte Flair. I have leapt to the defense of her talent. I don't even know how many times on Twitter. I get into that war like nearly every week. But I do not want to see her win the Rumble again. I don't know. Oh, it'd be nuclear here. It really would. I think.
I agree with you, but I think they're going to do it. It'll either be her or Ripley. It'll be her or Ripley, I think. I hope it's Ripley.
Ripley, Belair, or Bailey, I would take. I do, and I want Big E, but I think Daniel Bryan, which I would be happy with too. Right, let's see.
Should we run down quickly the other matches that we think? I think Drew McIntyre's winning, and I think that Charlotte Flair and Asuka are dropping the tag titles.
Yeah, but Louis, can you sing?
No.
You're lucky that this is a freebie and you can't force Louis to sing.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm sure that
I've got my swanky new iPad up so I can read the comments on the channel to make sure you guys are getting to the new Wrestling Daily channel, which the mod mother Jenna, I don't even have to think. Look, I just knew Jenna would have posted the link in the chat because Jenna is the best of all of us. So head over to that link and comment there with what you want, because we're only going to be reading out those comments to get you guys over to the new channel and in that habit. We've got quite gone. Hang
on, before we fly through that, you said about the rest of the card. I have a horrible feeling about Goldberg, but I think Drew retains. I think Roman retains. I think Charlotte and Asuka drop the titles, and that's it.
Fair you? I think so. I think Roman Reigns is winning. I think Drew McIntyre is winning, and I think Asuka and Charlotte Flair are dropping the tag titles because I think Charlotte Flair factors into the WrestleMania plans. I think that'll be a split. Charlotte Flair will probably beat Asuka for the title at Fastlane or the Chamber or whatever, leading to a Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania.
Poor Asuka. Louis, who's the best seller in wrestling?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, he's one of them when he feels like it.
100% Brock Lesnar. Like
you can't think about it. It's not that easy. Like you can't. I don't know if you can attribute the best seller in wrestling to someone who only has to do it like 5-6 times a year.
But when he does it, he does. Well, yeah. Dolph Ziggler's up there as well.
Dolph Ziggler's definitely up there. I think that there's often a difference between a bump and a sell that I think some people discredit, right? Like you see sometimes like someone's like Kenny Omega sold the finish the other day of the paradigm shift really well, but really that's a bump. Like the sell is the emotion and the stuff that comes after that, really, and like how you get to where you want to get in the match through the emotion of their facials and like the body parts, and it is to do with the bumping too. So
like Darby Allin takes good bumps, but I wouldn't put him in top sellers, for example.
Exactly. So
same with Jeff Hardy. He takes bumps, but is he a top seller? No, because I just generally think he's in pain. I don't think he's selling anymore.
That's the thing about Brock. Like, I think Brock's both. Like if you ever see someone like lob him out the ring and stuff, like he's just so like athletic and oh man, he's great. I would have said the best bump and feeder in the business for like feeding a babyface's comeback is Dolph Ziggler. Like to me, he's amazing at that. But anyway, moving forward, bit of a technical question. What is the process behind setting up an interview? Do you contact talent directly or the company? Well, I will split this question with Louis. I will just tell you it's different depending on who you're talking to from what company.
Yeah. So the big companies, WWE and AEW, like it to go through them, and understandably so. So they'll have the interviews go through them, which they're bigger companies, you get it. Some wrestlers will speak to you without having WWE or AEW's consent. It's not a good thing. It's a good thing for you, but why are you pointing at me there, Al?
Because that's what you did with Ric Flair. I
appreciate the process,
but Ric Flair is certainly worth maybe fighting.
I appreciate the process, but I mean, moving on. But I mean, for people like when I interviewed Noah Jose after he left WWE, that got set up through someone that works in WWE and wanted me to sort of like help out with Noah Jose and getting him a platform. I got that through them. With Mike and Maria Kalenis, I got that through someone that works on the independent scenes and knows them well. Or a lot of people I've just DM'd and said, "Hey, do you want?" I know I do sort of a lot more of the indie names than you. I'm sure you would do them if you weren't getting WWE names out the wazoo. But I think for some of them, you're just like, yeah, what can we do for you? Like, if you want to do an interview, want us to promote a certain thing, let's do it. I try to keep on top of who's got what coming out. So if someone's got a book coming out, if someone's got an app, if someone's got something coming out or promoting something, I will always email them and be like, hey, or if texting me, I've got the number and say, hey, listen, we want to get you on the show. Let's promote it. And I think it is a lot of that. But with people signed to companies, you go through the companies themselves or the companies like that.
Yeah. So obviously, a lot of my interviews in the last week, I've had Darby Allin and Sheamus. A lot of it will be speaking to AEW and WWE, but it's not just. There's lots of things that go into it. Like it's the platform you have. Like obviously, I'm a national outlet with TalkSport, which people, or WWE in particular, pine for. Louis WrestleTalk is just a wrestling centric thing.
Yeah.
So again, the companies will look at it differently. For me personally, obviously, I've been doing this for 4.5 years interview wise now. So like you get to know the PRs, and so they go to different things. So for instance, like I can't give too much away, but like there's a company next week that I've just done a lot of interviews for this week, and there's an announcement of their next shows, which I'll be launching on my show. So although I do WWE and AEW, there are a lot of people that I've got to know through the business and spoken to in different ways. So some of it is like a steady stream, but there's others that you have to go out and get. A good example is like Bischoff, DDP, those kind of guys, retired guys. You have to kind of go and get them yourself. So it's a balance of work, but also once you get a foothold in the business and you get to know certain wrestlers, certain PRs, certain agents, like the Mickie James interview, right? She's with WWE, but I got it through her agent. And then I had to kind of backpedal and go to WWE. Can I do this though? Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's a bit of a process. And to be fair, WWE were like, yeah, but sometimes they have their reasons for saying no. I won't actually digress too much on that.
This game is all about who you know. It's who you know.
It's that and who you work for. I think like you need to have a platform. If you don't have a platform, and like let's just say my missus. Mate, started a podcast tomorrow. She's not going to email WWE and be like, "Can I have Roman Reigns because it's not going to work, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be an audience for them to reach and get to, and there's just a lot of stuff. What's that, mate?
So how do you know?
Well, she reckons her podcast would be.
I'll tell you what. Let's do a test. Can you ask your missus if she got a question with Roman Reigns? What would it be? One question.
Sean, if you had one question for Roman Reigns, what would it be?
Is that Becky Lynch's?
No, that's Seth Rollins. This is a bad start. Huh?
What would it be?
What would it be?
Don't know.
When's he coming over for dinner?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good question.
Mate, you've just instilled poison into my house, Louis.
Can I have a cuddle?
Can I have a cuddle? No. Look what we've done. What else have we got going on here?
I can see why ladies like him. He's a good-looking bloke.
He's a very good-looking bloke, to be fair to him.
I just think he looks like a big...
There was a question here about movies, and I've lost it. I'm mad about it.
Good.
No, I like a non-wrestling one thrown in there somewhere. Louis, oh, Jesus Christ, I just opened my iTunes. Louis or Alex, have either of you interviewed Paul Burchill? And if so, is it up anywhere? His Ripper character in OVW was fantastic. No, but I would like to do that.
Yeah, me too. Be great.
Very could have done. He could have been and done so much more. Alex, what were your highlights and lowlights of covering UFC 257? Louis, what was your favorite snack food? That's two diverse questions. For me, the highlight, I guess, is I'd never been to UAE before. So, man, it's hot, lovely, swimming pool. Like, to leave cold England and go there was very nice. The low light, watching McGregor get knocked out, I think. Like, I'm a McGregor fan for my sins. As a fighter more than anything else, I've always liked him. So I think I was just a bit like, whoa, oh dear. So yeah, I'd say so. Lou, snack food?
Quite like popcorn. I think popcorn's very underrated. I like popcorn. We'll go with popcorn.
That's very vague though. What are we talking? Toffee, butter, sweets,
salt? Salt. No sweet. I haven't got sweet tooth. I know you wouldn't look at it and think I don't have a sweet tooth, but I do. I don't have a sweet tooth at all. I actually want to put up this question from Up Down Avondale because it is interesting. It won't happen, but what do you guys think about, say, Ember Moon winning the Rumble to challenge, I presume you mean to Io Shirai, at Mania, which opens the door for more NXT matches over Mania weekend? Yeah, firstly, what do you think about it? Secondly, do you think we'll get a Mania match sort of now it's over 2 nights like we did last year?
That is a good question. Like you said, I don't think that's the way it will happen. This is the only Mania that's actually being purported to be over 2 nights. The other two have just promoted the Sunday. So I don't know if this two-night thing is here to stay. But this year, that's a good opportunity, right? If there is ever going to do it. I honestly don't know who they would put out, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, who they would push forward. You could do something with the Undisputed Era quite easily. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't think they'll use the Rumble as the vehicle for it, though, this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like how they did last year with Charlotte. I don't know about Ember winning the Rumble. I like it. I would like it if... I don't know.
I do love Ember Moon, but yeah.
Me too. But I'd quite like a men's guy to... Maybe AJ Styles wins it and goes, I want Finn Balor. That'd be cool. I think that is a way to do it as opposed to Ember Moon winning it and going after... I like an NXT guy or girl winning it and going after an NXT title. I think you've got more legs in basically what they should have done last year with the NXT star being put over by the main roster star at WrestleMania. That's what they should do, I think, personally. And I think AJ Finn would be awesome.
It would. I still don't have a problem with the fact Rhea lost last year because I still think that she's 23. She has plenty of time. As long as you work your way back round to it, where she does eventually dethrone Charlotte and tell that story, it's fine. Otherwise, not great.
It was Charlotte's NXT run that didn't, I think, has soured how I felt about the title win. I think if they did it more like Cena's Open Challenge, that would have been a cool way to do it and would have brought more eyes on the product, would have been a great way to utilize younger talent. I know she's your favorite. Imagine Charlotte comes out and goes, all right, Casey Catanzaro, you got a match. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have. It would have. And listen, don't use Casey in disparaging terms.
Casey and Charlotte, would your brain be able to?
I wouldn't be able to process it. No.
No.
Matt Desmond says, "What do you?" Yeah, I found it. What do you think is the most overrated movie? Mine is Avatar. It just dances with wolves, or Fern Gully. Read that. Fern Gully, by the way, great film. Louis, you don't really watch films, do you? So you can't really say much. Overrated movie.
I'm gonna get killed for my answer.
Do you know what? Me and my missus, we are or were huge Tom Hardy fans.
I know he's going to say that.
Terrible film, wasn't it? The remake of Mad Max. I thought it was awful.
Awful film.
I really thought it was dreadful. I might get nuclear heat for that. But I'm a huge Tom Hardy guy. Thought it was shocking. Sorry. What else have we got?
You were close. I mean, I wouldn't get.
I held it. Let me see what else we've got going on here. Hi. Look, why is it some people at WrestleTalk seem to wish Vince dead because of his character? From Essex Uni, UK, #funnel. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Lou. You got a uni brethren.
So in terms of the WrestleTalk thing, we seem to get this a lot that people think we're anti-WWE. We're not. We're not at all. Like, I mean, for a long time, I would watch NXT live over AW and would much prefer NXT. Now that has changed slightly. But I think the issue that some people have, not just people at WrestleTalk, but people in general with Vince McMahon, isn't his character. Isn't anything he's done on TV. Vince McMahon is 100% a genius. We only are doing this show because of Vince McMahon. So he is the genius. If there's a Mount Rushmore in wrestling, anyone that doesn't put him number one is going a bit crazy. Or at least on that list. He's 100% that. But I think a lot of it has to do with some of the things that have been alleged against him in terms of a business sense, like the firing people in a pandemic, which doesn't help. Things like that. And the whole creative process in WWE, especially right now, when you hear, oh, like so-and-so this, so-and-so that, the Vince tears up the Raw script. It just doesn't seem like a lot of, I guess, good is being reported. Not my views. I'm not even saying the views of anyone at WrestleTalk, but it is more from what I see online. That is some of the issues that people have with Vince. And it's not so much his character in the ring, maybe some of the business stuff outside of it. But I don't have an issue. I think Vince the genius. I've said this multiple times. There has been no one in... Like, I know Effie said it. Independent wrestler Effie said, Vince has had 3 good ideas in the 80s, and we've let him have a hall pass for 30 years. With all due respect to Effie... How do I word this? With all due respect to Effie, Vince McMahon's 3 ideas were the best 3 ideas that have ever... probably been created in wrestling. The 3 reasons we're here. Without Vince McMahon, he probably doesn't have a job. So
I think that's selling Vince short, but there you go. Pancakes or waffles? Pancakes.
Pancakes. Thin pancakes. Don't like
yeah. You'd have to check her Instagram. Are you trying to get me in the doghouse here? WrestleScope. What? What are you doing? This is in reference to the joke yesterday because
he knows
Steph
what
had
he's doing.
Exactly.
Knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So Steph posted a picture of her new bed on Instagram. That's all I can tell you about it, my friend. Louis, will Liverpool sign a centre back before the window closes?
Yeah, and it'll be Mustafi or someone awful. Yeah. We will, and it'll be awful. But what can you do? We beat Tottenham yesterday, so up the Reds.
I knew True he would come through and correct us with some Japanese malarkey. Not even close. He sells like a video game boss, but it's gripping. Tomohiro Ishii. I honestly couldn't comment. I'm just going on who I watch more. I still think Dolph Ziggler is up there with anyone. That's my opinion.
Can I just say?
Also, by the way, Sasha Banks is an amazing seller as well, by the way. She 100%. Throws herself into the sales. But yeah.
You've pissed off a member of the Dangoor household.
It's
not me. It's my brother. What was your movie take? Because my brother has seemingly very much disagreed with it. Your Mad
Max is shite. That is a bad film. It is bad. I don't care what anyone says. Me and your
Alex
brother. Me and AD can have it out. I will. I am not going to back down on that opinion. Those wasted hours of my life. Very
Fair
bad.
Enough.
Very bad. And this is coming from a hardcore Tom Hardy fan. So listen, it pains me to say that. Why don't you get a haircut, Louis?
So for those that don't know, we're in the UK at the moment, and we're in a national lockdown, so nothing's open at the moment. I could get my mum to do it. I will probably ask her to this weekend. If it's not, it's supposed to snow this weekend, and I'm actually
Hard.
So my PS. So I'm mainly concerned about this. Oh, Alex is frozen. I'm mainly concerned about the snow because I'm supposed to be getting a PS5 tomorrow delivered, and if the snow delays it, I will cry.
Unrealised thoughts there's y'all played NXT. Oh, that's how I'm imagining you're saying this. We need a review in about 5 minutes. Me and Steph did that review yesterday. Come on, man.
Yeah. So this is Ollie and Luke do like an in 5 minutes review of AEW and NXT of AEW, not NXT. If you want NXT content, to be fair to Alex and Steph, they cover NXT and AEW in equal weight on the shows. They go through both. Talk about the Monarchy and opening. I know Alex is probably one of the last people that still watches NXT. I know until recently. So guys, just if you want your NXT content, we have it all for you here on Wrestling Daily. That is one of the things we like to do is show all companies. Obviously, we're not going to start covering shows from CZW, but NXT AW on the Thursday show with Alex and Steph. You will get those opinions on the show.
All right, last couple, guys, before we need to wrap this up. Pineapple on pizza. No, Sammy. No.
Sure.
Do you know what? The only thing I do...
Really?
I'm saying no.
Yes.
No.
Oh, ow.
It's terrible.
Ow.
Do you know what? Do you know what I have on my
not
pizza?
terrible.
It is terrible. All I have is ham, weirdly enough.
Okay,
ham.
right. Okay.
Ham's great.
Try ham and pineapple.
No, obviously I have. Obviously, I haven't got to 32 years old, had ham on my pizza and went, well, I don't know about pineapple. Obviously, I've tried it, Louis. It doesn't, to me, texturally, it doesn't fit. I can't get on with it. I can't. Louis, you'll be out of this. Say it again. Look, that's it. Don't give me bad mouthing about pineapple.
Okay.
Somebody's put, okay, now I really want to see Louis talk about CZW shows. I kind of do too. I'm not gonna lie.
I watched a hardcore match once live at Progress between Paul Robertson and Jimmy Havoc, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever watched in my life.
I don't even need to see
anyone
that.
Want to see that.
I don't even need to see that, and I know it's like basically a crime.
And it came out in all white gear, Jimmy Havoc, and he was red, but just no.
NXT is better of the two every week. Not every week.
Disagree at the moment, unfortunately. Listen, NXT is still probably the second or third best show of the week, but AEW is killing it at the moment.
I love this last question. Yeah, I mean, most weeks AEW is the winner. Rhea Nocta. Christian to enter the Royal Rumble when Edge is in the ring, even if it was for a quick elimination, right? And they just did a 5-second pose or something like that. I am here for that. I would be totally down for that.
As long as he can do it safely, 100%. I mean, imagine fans there in a 5-second pose.
He can obviously take a bump. Like, all he needs to do is be chucked out the ring, really.
And I guess it's pre-recorded, so it's not pre-recorded, but it can be because there's no fans there, so you can do it in a safe way. But yeah, I just be careful with Christian, please. Don't hurt him.
Be nice to Christian. All right, guys, thank you very much. As usual with Louis and I, we don't know how to keep our eye on the time, and we have gone over. But the Q&A is always a very fun time. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us for another week of Wrestling Daily. Next week, it's a full week in our new home. We've made the move
5 days.
Yeah, we've left Upton Park and gone to the bowling ground. I don't know.
No. Don't do that one because West Ham fans didn't like that move.
That's exactly what ran through my head as I said it. Highbury to the Emirates?
Yeah. Tottenham to White Hart Lane to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
You all get the picture. Right, we're moving on.
We're moving on.
We're going. We're going to Wrestling Dailies, obviously our YouTube channel, which you should all be on now. Please do subscribe and check us out next week. 9:30 on Monday after I've been on the radio, 7 till 9. Then you'll join us the rest of the time, 8 p.m. Louis is right back here on Monday and Tuesday. And, of course, you'll catch him for Friday Insight. And then you've got SP3 on Wednesday. And you've got Steph Chase on the the Thursday. So everybody have a good weekend. Please enjoy the Rumble. Don't get too upset.
Before we go, will you be here if Goldberg wins the WWE title? Will you be here on Monday?
No. I'll be out committing heinous crimes, I would have thought.
Fair enough. It'll be me on my own on Monday then, when Goldberg inevitably wins.
I'll throw it all away if he wins. All right. So anyway, everyone enjoy the Rumble. Feel free to obviously hit Louis and myself up on Twitter, as we are going to be watching the Rumble live. Give us your predictions. Give us all of that good stuff online. And we will catch you on Monday. Bye-bye.